Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Lumberslayer and Friends podcast, live from the Lumberslayer Speakeasy. I am the one true Lumberslayer, Alex Abbath, joined as always by Adam Friedman. Say hello, sir.
Howdy.
Every single fucking episode of the podcast starts with a beer. Adam, what are we drinking today?
Snoochie Boochie.
Bada boom.
Forbidden Root. Picked this up in Chicago. Just got back last weekend. 4th of July. It was a good-ass time. And there's just no going to Chicago and not bringing back beer. I tried it, and I still brought back beer. So this is a yummy beer that I'm excited to share with you. Forbidden Root's new to me. They are from Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah?
And some very interesting can art here and a description. Hopefully you can read that, but I wanted to bounce it off of you.
This is lengthy.
It's a cute little story.
He was a big yellow mutt the old Ukrainian lady got at the pound. When she adopted him, his name was Boochie, but she called him a Snoochie Boochie. And they bad start, dude. And they'd amble down Chicago Avenue from tree to tree, and she'd tell him his face was flat because he was chasing parked cars. And she would laugh and stomp her foot, and he'd wag his stump of a tail while his tongue lolled out. Yep. Dude, this is bad. This is hard to read.
Yeah.
She would sit on the stoop and light a long menthol and stare into his big wet eyes and smile, perfectly in love with this yellow dog.
And so that's how Snoochie Boochie got his name. There's a story to this beer.
That was a rough read, dude. Felt like a little kid again.
Bravo.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. Double India Pale Ale. Double dry hopped with Mosaic and Citra. Two of the most delicious hop varieties, of course. Let's dive in.
Let's do it. Gotta love that crack.
Huge
Really
shout
fucking
out.
cool can.
Sorry?
Really fucking cool can.
Yeah, it is. Gotta give a huge shout out to the Beer Temple in Chicago. This place has been on my radar for a couple years probably, and I've kind of been meaning to get in there, but I always end up going to Bitter Pops because it's closer to my my sister's place. Beer Temple was fucking dope as hell.
Hell yeah. Love new beer spots. Oh, that's pouring pretty orangey. Look at that guy. A lot of sediment. Oh no, it's just bubbly.
There's definitely some sediment though. There's some floaties going on. Hold up to the light.
Yep. Cheers to beer, sir.
Cheers. And that hop fragrance is like wham.
Yeah. Fruity and smooth. Creamy.
Yeah, really, really velvety mouthfeel, which is that dry hop character.
Almost milkshakey. Not quite there, but almost there.
Yeah, that is just hopped to the max.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really delicious. I don't, like I said, Forbidden Root's new to me, and I don't know if this is a flagship of theirs or like a limited thing. I don't know enough about it, but
Why don't we get Wisconsin beers?
there's a lot of beers in Indiana we don't get. There's a lot of beers from Illinois we don't get.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like the Great Lakes region like doesn't share very well with each other. It's just strange.
Build a little wall.
I truly do wonder that. I especially wish that we could get more Chicago beer.
Yeah.
And I know that people in Chicago wish they could get more Michigan beer. So, what are you going to do?
Guess we'll just have to be jealous of each other.
Huge kudos in the bar, man. It's looking great.
Yeah, it's moving. It's getting there. It's getting to the point. It's almost seaworthy.
It's good stuff.
Need to get the TV down here. Get the TV down here. We're really fucking rolling.
Yeah. Well, we got a few months until hockey season starts back, and that's the real important thing.
Oh, it will be going. I promise.
And already had a couple good ass parties thrown down here.
Couple. Doing
More to come.
the pre-gaming. This is still the experimental phase. Still trying to figure out what needs changing and what needs not changing. Pretty good, though.
Would you like to talk about some metal?
I say we do. We got a lovely album sitting right yonder. Abbath's second solo album, Outstrider.
Tell me about the first one that came out 2015.
I liked it
It was amazing.
quite a bit.
Abbath's first solo album, I love that album. I honestly think that I've never listened to a black metal album that's more fun than that album.
Yeah.
Like, more enjoyable to listen to. And it's that black and roll style all the way through. And obviously Abbath's vocals are one of the best for that black metal style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just stupendous. So this one was on the radar big time when we knew that he was coming out with his second release. And I think he's got pretty much an all new lineup here.
Yeah.
Do you know of any of those folks?
I don't. I know it moved into a 4-piece instead of a 3-piece this time around. That's all I know. No masks. It was masks last time. Corpse paint again. Which I like. But that's all I got.
So, Outstrider.
Yeah. So Adam's going to have to read off the track list because old Lumberslayer here had a fucking brain fart and was looking at the back of the CD. And there's a nice little story going on there that I didn't fucking figure out until about, I don't know, 8 tracks into the disc, which I think is only 9 tracks anyways.
Yep.
So I was putting the story down instead of the track list. So Adam's going to read off the tracks because I'm fucking dumb.
Opener is called Calm in Ire of Hurricane.
Triumphy march kind of style intro here with acoustic guitars.
Yes. The
Like-
Grandpa's guitars.
Like it. Big, hard, classic rock guitar, like power anthem thing right before we start like kicking in proper. This is going to come back around.
Yes.
And then we hit that right back to where we left off on the first album. It's pretty much black and roll right there. Super like ripping leads that they kind of like stick in the background. Again, a thing that's going to come up more and more in this album. Fuck, dude, it's your standard gold start for me on an album where it tells you what you're going to get for the rest of the album right off the bat. Good start.
I loved this right at the beginning because there's that kind of folky, use the word triumphant, I call that folky, acoustic intro, but it doesn't just all of a sudden jump right into brutality. It sort of gives you this like gradual, slowly creeps into the black metal, and then Abbath's vocals come in, and it's like, wow. Very fucking well done intro track. Really liked it. And then the guitar tones and the driving beat, very much like the last album. This is like your intro into knowing what to expect. Very well done intro track. They chose that track very, very well to be the opener.
For sure.
Track number 2, Bridge of Spasms.
Really clanky, grindy bass at the beginning of this. A tone I absolutely fucking love. Much more black than the first.
Yes. Interesting growl moan thing he does a couple of times.
Thing.
And pretty different. I don't recall hearing Abbath do that before. I don't know if he's experimenting or something, but he sounds fucking evil as shit, I'll tell you that.
We move into like a more like ride into battle type of riff thing there, which I really like it when that happens, especially in a black metal track. Like it gives you that old school Viking feel that like it's something I crave when I'm listening to the black metal. Another quick little lead. This is gonna, as the album goes on, and it's not really a problem for me. These tracks get more like locked into a formula that we're kind of getting on this track here, where you just have these quick little leads that come in and then disappear that lead you right back into another riff. And then we go right back into pretty straightforward Black to close out. Not a bad second track at all.
It's interesting. You say that they sort of have a formula and they do that on this album. Part of that formula is tempo changes. Tons of them. I don't recall. I'm sure there are tempo changes, so don't take me the wrong way. In the last album, but I don't recall so many. They almost do it consistently here
without fills too. Like they go like it's a quick change on a dime.
Yeah,
switch up. So,
great guitar solo at the end of that second track too. Love that. He does that 3 or 4 times with really, really nice solos. Track number 3, The Artifacts.
Again, like quick little intro riff followed by like quick little solo, and we're right into the song.
Starts out, there's blast beats at the beginning, moves into like a slow groove, and then back to blast beats. That formula, it's coming back around every time.
Yeah, you get that little like 80s rock vibe. A lot of these tracks have like a very like 80s arena power rock type thing.
It's the roll part of that black and roll.
Like I said, just like this one feels like a big stadium rocker. Like you can see
that.
like a whole arena full of fucking corpse painted out metalheads fucking nodding their heads, going crazy.
Track number 4, which is the one that they released as a single a few months ago, Harvest Pyre.
Again, easy, nod your head to, pretty like straightforward rocker here. I like these half times that the drummers adding to give you a little bit more texture than the past few ones have had, but
yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of one of the more straightforward tracks on the album.
This one would have been 100% Perfect Company on the first album. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's carryover stylistically from Abbath's first release. I hear a song like this, and I think, now this is pod racing, except now this is Abbath. Boom. It's exactly what it is. Like that's like the most Abbath-y track I think I've ever heard. Having had a little bit of experience with him now, that's exactly what his solo project sounds like, is that track right there.
Right. I can dig that.
Track 5, Land of Chem.
This one got a little bit lost in the shuffle for me. Like, here we go again with a lead intro, and there's a super black midsection, and then a lead outro. Like, this, to me, this is where I don't think it got, like, trying to think of a good word to describe it. Like, this is where, like, I'm like, all right, so this is what we're doing, and that's what you're getting.
For me, this was the first track where the drums really stood out.
Really?
I really was digging the drums, and it made me want to move. I could definitely be seeing this at a show and being really fucking into it. And I can't really even put my finger on exactly what it was the drums were doing, but it really stood out to me. This is such in every way, it's such an Abbath-centered band.
Sure.
In every way, shape, and form. That was the first time where the drums felt featured to me, where something else was happening and it wasn't just focused on his brutal vocals and this black and roll driving thing happening. Interesting that you didn't really feel that one as much.
Yeah, no.
Track 6 was the title track, Outstrider.
The initial impression I get of this one, it just feels like an old school Immortal video should happen for this song. I want Abbath jumping out from behind a tree and making a goofy grin into the camera in the middle of winter. Other than that, it's just another rocker for me, man. Like this, the middle section of this album gets a little bit. Again, I can't find the fucking word that I want to use to describe it. It gets a little bit
redundant?
Yeah. Not quite. It's not like boring, but it's predictable a little bit. And it's not bad. It's still, the music's fucking great. It's just not like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have much on this one.
Another acoustic intro on that one. Again, you're seeing that formula coming around multiple times. This was another one where it would have gone perfectly on that first album. There's that carryover stylistically it's right there. Track number 7. I think it's Scythe Wander.
I buy that. The accidental translation track name for this one was Gutting Pain from Every Loss, which I like way better. But we have the formula intro here again. The clanky bass comes back. I still love that tone. I think it really, really complements this style with the black and roll big time.
This was, I think, the fastest track on the album. But again, that tempo change comes through.
Yeah.
And then it goes into total black and roll again. And then turns into a banger, the second half. And probably the best guitar solo, for my money, on the entire album. Loved that one.
So many fucking solos on this. Like, you can tell it's a guitar player's band.
Yes.
Like, fucking crazy. The lady style.
Track number 8 was Hecate, or Hecate, which is the Greek goddess of dark things. I think. I remember learning about that in school.
Briefly. I remember Dionysus.
Yep.
He's my jam. That's the guy you want to fuck with. Nice big intro on this one.
Yes.
I really like that one. Was it like for a album full of intro heavy songs, this one stood out quite a bit.
Well, instead, they put the acoustic in the middle. There's an acoustic break, which is actually pretty cool. That's probably my favorite of the 3 or 4 acoustic parts of this album.
I think it's my favorite moment on the entire album.
It's pretty good.
Creepy. It's there's some like little underlays that happen in there to just add with the creepiness, like droning. Like, I can't tell if it's guitar or keys. It might be a little bit of both, but it's a really nice combination to give you some texture that is not lacking on the rest of the album, but not there on the rest of the album.
Well, after that acoustic break in this track, it goes full on brute to close it out, which was cool. That was a pretty complicated track, one of the better ones, one of the highlights here, I think. And then track number 9, Pace Till Death. So that's the Bathory cover that you were talking about?
And Abbath recover, if you will. Been waiting to make that stupid joke this entire review. Cool song, old school. They do a nice job with it. I wouldn't have put it on the album myself, but that's me.
So I didn't know this was a Bathory cover until you mentioned that. And so I was like, holy shit, Abbath wrote a death metal song. This is fucking awesome.
Nope.
I mean, it even has death in the title.
Like I said, did a really nice job handling it. You definitely get that old school black vibe on it too. And it's a nice song. I'm not one to put covers on albums, especially as closeout tracks.
Well, this album as a whole was 38:49, so I think that's like 10 minutes less than the first one.
Yeah.
So it is a shorter installment for Abbath. So maybe he just didn't have quite as much material this time around, but it was certainly time for him to come out with something new. And he obviously had songs.
Right.
But, I mean, it's not like short enough to be an EP or anything like that, but I don't know. I thought that track was fun as hell, regardless whether it was a cover or not. But like I will say it again, like you tune in to an Abbath album for it to be a fucking good ass time, and his album certainly is that. It's just enjoyable to listen to. It's fun. For a genre of metal that's certainly bleak and depressing and all this stuff, like does the opposite to me. Gets me excited. It's extremely fun to listen to.
Yeah.
It's a good driving album.
Abbath is a goofy motherfucker. You ever watch any like interviews with him?
A couple, yeah.
He's just a goofball. You ever see the video of him running down a hill at a concert and falling?
No.
Oh my god, you got to get on this, dude. It's so fucking funny. He's at an outdoor venue. It's on a hill, and he climbs to the top of the hill on the side that's fenced in, so there's nobody around him. Starts like charging down with his guitar on. Fucking takes a tumble about 3/4 of the way down, sticks the landing, gets back up, keeps playing. It's fucking amazing. Super Spinal Tappy, but
I'm gonna have to see that.
it's fun. So obviously this is a pickup for me. It's cool having the Abbath solo project and having Immortal still going.
Yes.
And I think both bands are handling it well. So I look forward to more of this.
I don't think Abbath's going anywhere. I think he is loving his solo life. Because, judging off of his first 2 albums, he's in a good place. I wonder what it's like to work with him, though. So, all new lineup, you gotta wonder, like, what goes on there. Like, do people know that this is a revolving door, or...
I think Abbath is just a fucking goofball, and I think you just need to be able to handle it. It seems like that's what's going on here, without having any real knowledge. So, hey, Season of Mist, look, Japan knows how to do a CD. They put it in a jewel case. So much nicer.
Jewel case or bust?
So much nicer. So much nicer. Ready to do another beer?
I was born ready, my good man.
We got Floyds.
What do we got here, Al?
Got my hand closing in the door. Oh, we've got the Dreadnought. Look at that guy. Almost.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, she's pretty. 3 Floyds. This is not normal, it says.
Well, it's not normal to have 3 Floyds in Michigan, I'll tell you that. That's
No.
why I grabbed that.
It's an Imperial IPA.
Always begs the question.
A hophead's dream beer. What question does it beg?
How do you classify a double IPA from an Imperial IPA? What's the difference? Or is it just tomato?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
I've always wondered that. So you can call it an Imperial IPA, or you call it a double IPA. What's the ABV there? It's got to be 8, right?
Striking out here, dude. Not
This
good at reading
this
labels.
double Hoochie Boochie from Forbidden Root, that was 8. That's a double IPA. So
Come on. Really intense label, did not say. You take a look at this. I'm not seeing it. Really cool artwork on it. Very Russian.
3 Floyds is one of my favorites, dude. And I was telling you that a couple of years ago when I visited there, you and I gotta go. Like, gotta go.
Yeah, I'm down. Thinking about it, I feel like an Imperial implies booziness. I think that's where I'm at on it.
It's not normal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it says.
Okay, I feel better now.
Should I do the honors?
I need to learn to read. Yes.
Can't read.
It's not his fault he can't read. Listen to that pour.
Beautiful thing.
Got a little bit of echo going on down here. Adds to the ambiance. It smells heavy. Look at that. Look at that. Cheese to bees.
Jeez. Excited for this one. God.
That's really good.
Such a different style from that last one. The last one was so juice forward and so dry hopped.
I will say, if you put this in front of me, not knowing what it was, I would say Imperial over double.
Interesting. Maybe it's a yeast difference.
There's definitely a taste. Like, you give me a lineup of Imperials or whatever anybody wants to call their Imperial, and like this to me definitely screams Imperial.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I associate Imperial with like a Russian stout. That's like my go-to baseline for an Imperial. I mean, I know there's different styles of every Imperial, but like there's definitely a flavor there that matches up to me with most Russian Imperial stouts. Like I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's so funny. These are both high ABV IPAs. Whether you're calling it Imperial Double, it doesn't matter. But so different.
There's almost no back end on this.
That's like probably my favorite thing about beer.
It like disappears completely. Like I get a little bit of bitter, but flatline bitter, like no accent flavors. It's really interesting. Everything's out front. It's like grapefruit rind to end. Crazy. I like it. It's tasty.
It is. It's a good pickup.
It's a damn good pickup. You did a good job on your trip of not buying beer.
Yeah, well, I was being rushed out of the beer temple because I was with, my son and my niece. And, kids are impatient and needed to get home for snacks or a diaper change or whatever the fuck.
I do the same thing.
And I was like, oh, God, I got to pick something. And I just grabbed the Three Floyds Imperial IPA.
It's fun that we live in a world of quality so much so that, like, you can judge some beers by their label. And you have a pretty good shot of it being at least decent.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
There's a brewery, I probably mentioned it before here on the podcast, but there's a brewery called Dovetail in Chicago, which is like, man, it's certainly on my top 5 probably in Chicago, which is saying a lot. There's a lot of breweries in Chicago that I like, but they specialize in German-style lagers, and holy shit are they good. Picked up their Helles lager. I drank a few of those while I was over in Chicago. Man, is it good. That's just like, you want a well-done lager, they're just slaying the game. I mean, just some of the best lagers I've had in recent memory.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good.
Just makes me think of Ferris Bueller when he's doing the German Day Parade.
Classic.
Wonderful. Shall we talk Immortal, Bird?
We should. And is this totally new to you?
Yes, and this album got a fuckload of hype, and as far as I can tell, well-deserved.
This was a great find. Totally off my radar. But there's a couple of bands whose style reminds me a lot of this. And I did a little bit of Googling research and found that I'm not alone there. That other people seem to also consider this band along with the other two bands I was thinking. So let's dive in.
Let's do it. First track, Anger Breeds Contempt. They're coming out strong. Right off the bat, you know you're going to get a lot of separation in the instruments on this one. It's one of the things I love about 3-piece instrumental and a vocalist is that you get that separation. You're always going to hear the bass pretty clear. You're always going to hear the guitar pretty clear. You're always going to hear the drums pretty clear if production's done right. And you overlay the vocals, everything's going to be A-okay.
So why is that though? Like
sonic space.
Explain to me. Like let's say I know absolutely nothing, because I don't.
Right. Think about a rainbow.
Okay.
That's the best way I do this for people that don't understand sound. All the colors have to sit in their own space, and you can, if you want to see the colors brightly, it's like the blending of the colors in the rainbow. Like sometimes the colors run together and they're soft, and sometimes it's like a gay flag where it's like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
This one's closer to like a gay flag where it's like boom, 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 and all the colors aren't kind of like softly blending together. Each instrument takes up its own sonic space.
Gotcha.
So the guitar is very separated from the bass, which takes up the low section. The drums are very high so that you can hear them. That's pretty standard for like death metal and black metal, to keep your drums high pitched to make the bass cut through and all that. So that's how I describe that.
First thing that struck me right in the first track, hell of a first track, by the way. Another great opener here. Anger Breeds Contempt. Really great track title too. But first thing that struck me, those vocals are ridiculous. Female leads, but brutal as all hell. She is evil, evil, evil.
Yeah, she can hang. Big time.
Holy shit. Blown away. Phenomenal performance. And she's so consistent, man. She just crushes it all through the entire album. It's like, wow.
There's a really cool moment on this track towards the end where the strings do. So I can't tell if it's just bass or if it's bass and guitar doing the thing. If it's just the bass, it's really fucking impressive, and even if it's not just the bass, it's still pretty impressive. That's a really, really nice section on this track. They give you a lot of variety in their songs. They're going to give you different sections of different stuff, and this track tells you right off the bat, again, the gold standard. Tell me what you're going to do on the rest of the album in your first track, and I'm happy with you. So they do that. Good start.
It was like introducing you to themes, you know?
House of Anhedonia?
Anhedonia.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Shades of early Mastodon on this one. There's only two bands that you can relate any band to if you're Lumberslayer, and that's Pink Floyd and Mastodon. And there you go.
That's hilarious because you're so spot on with that.
That's all I do. I know for a fact that's one thing that I tend to do, but like you're gonna attract me if you sound like Mastodon every time.
Well, and I feel like last year, especially, like every single album, we were like, you know what, I got a Mastodon. You know what, I got Pink Floyd.
Right. Oh shit! What a dumbass. So it goes into this like blast beat Blackstodon part. It sounds so much like Remission. Remission's the first full length from Mastodon. I touch a brother's heart. Really cool stop section or towards the end, and then you get like this sweet like full on black closeout. These guys do such a nice job of weaving black into their songs.
Yes. And
dude, I'm fucking loving what they're doing.
Anhedonia was far and away my favorite track on here. The first two are my favorite, but House of Anhedonia, that was the track that really got my head banging the most and really got me on board. The opener was great, but yeah, track number 2 really brings the heat there.
Vestigial Warnings, chaotic intro. Really love the like polys going on, doing the guitar parts over the blast beats. It goes to like this like doomy stoner sludgy section. Really liking that. Drops out, comes back with like those Gojira like pick drags across the string. I really like that thing.
It's funny you associate that with Gojira. I know what you're talking about. They do that, but a lot of people do that.
That's what I go to.
Okay.
Sorry. Gojira and Mastodon. It's like, I don't know.
I mean,
drone groove ending kind of thing. Love it. Dig this track quite a bit. This one might have been my favorite track on the album. Abolition.
I'm afraid I don't have a whole lot on this album other than it's a damn quality album, and these guys are really, really, really dialed in on what they do.
Yeah.
Because I'll just come out and say it. Adam's tastes are more seeking out those memorable, catchy moments, melodies, and riffs. And that's not really what these guys are doing. Those do exist, and that's especially why I like that track number 2, is there's quite a bit of that there. But as dialed in as these guys are, they don't really bring that to the table very often. So they're just pretty consistent all the way through.
Right on. See, this album's like right up my fucking alley.
Oh, it absolutely is.
So Abolition, I get that like this is a go-to again for me on describing things. This is another one of those tracks that like I want to do when it's dark outside and I'm shoveling snow.
Yep.
Fucking killer.
Very much your style.
Atmospheric, Agalaki maybe. A little bit.
Nice, yeah.
I'd go with.
Agalak's fucking dope.
Really cool jazzy style, like take on the rest of the riffs in the album to close it out. Like this one's another really cool one for me. Solace in Dead Structures.
Slaying the fucking titles.
Jesus
like,
Christ, man.
It's so good.
Nice. Nice slow creepy start in this one, and then goes Fuck You Black. Liking it. Dude, using black as your like go-to, but like incorporating 1.5 trillion different styles beforehand, it's just a really nice blend for me.
We're gonna have the when we get through all the tracks, we're gonna have the genre debate.
Fair.
Quizquillian
Company. You need a fucking dictionary for this fucking album, sir.
I don't know what that means.
I don't
or
either.
what that is necessarily referring to, but
Very cool tremolo picking blast combo after the intro, almost tech deathy.
several moments, yes.
Come back with those Gojira slides, which I'm sorry, I'm gonna call them Gojira slides.
I wasn't trying to give you a hard time. I just
fair.
found it interesting that you sort of gave them the shout out.
That's who I'm giving the shout out to.
Alkaloid does that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Alkaloid slides. There you go. I love they do this weird subdivided stutter thing where it's like da 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 thing. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but it's a really fucking cool thing. They do it towards the beginning and towards the end. Nicely done. And then we're going to close out with Stumbling Towards Catharsis.
Another awesome title.
Spacey on the intro. Then you go full Black Assault. Hit some polys out, and then solo the ending. Strong way to close an album.
Yeah, the closing on that track was outstanding. They don't let you off easy, so to speak.
Like I said, this album's been getting a lot of hype. I think it's deserved.
Yes.
This band seems like their second full length. Seem like they've got some mainstay potential here.
Might as well mention out of Chicago, by the way.
Yes. So, you want a genre debate here?
Well, I don't know about so much debate, but I want to discuss it. So, immediately, I thought of Cobalt.
Ooh.
It's like, it's blackened, but you can't call it black metal.
Right.
Because it's not black metal, but it's blackened. And I also ended up, by the end, I was like, hey, you know what this reminds me of? The Lion's Daughter.
Ooh.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. A lot less electronica, though.
Future Cult, yes. Less on the synths and all that good stuff. But, stylistically outside of that, totally reminded me of it. Did a little bit of research. Sure enough, they're sort of under this blackened sludge umbrella, all three of those bands.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't necessarily expecting that. I mean, obviously there's the blackened elements across the board there, but
that's really funny. I didn't put that together. I should have.
Those were the two bands that stood out to me. And I was just surprised that, because, I mean, let's just face it. Usually I'm like off my own planet with like trying to put these guys into genres. And I was like, I guess I'm sort of closer on this one, which I actually found kind of comical, but.
I go Black and Sludge more than anything. Like this, I alluded to it earlier. We go to those earlier Mastodon albums, but like you can lump it right back in with those early Baroness stuff too. Like it's got that Savannah sludge thing going on for it.
There's a lot of cool choices in the guitars.
Yeah.
That are just not. They're certainly not black metal. I mean, there's a prog element here too.
Absolutely, I was about to go there.
I mean, that's a certainty. There's no orthodox structure happening here. There's no they're not bowing down to being in any box at all. They are really their own thing, and that's a huge part of what prog is to me. I don't give a shit about what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, by that.
This is like a progressive blackened sludge metal.
That's fair.
That's what I would call it.
That's fair. It's a pickup for me. Can you put it in a goddamn jewel case? Like, for fuck's sake.
Speaking of which, once again, your boys, $20 spin.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Just killing it.
$20 spin and Season of Mist. I feel like they can do no wrong.
They just can't go wrong with anything, man.
What Relapse was doing in the like late 2000s, early teens, $20 spin and Season of Mist have picked up the ball and fucking ran with it like fucking crazy. So
either that or you and I our tastes are just funneled right into those two labels.
Maybe.
That's just the way it is, but
fucking killing it.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. I feel like we mentioned that almost every fucking episode. It was like, oh, $20 spin.
And we will again, too, because Tomb Mold's about to drop. So,
Oh, shit.
god damn, sir. This year's been nothing but quality. Stoked about it.
Yeah, speaking of which, new Batushka just dropped
New Batushka.
yesterday.
Not familiar.
You know Batushka.
No,
You don't know Batushka?
I don't know Batushka.
Okay, well, you're about to learn about Batushka.
Great name.
They're black metal, I believe Polish.
Are you Polish?
And now there's this big controversy because one of the members left and started his own thing, and that this whole drama going on. You'll have to look into that.
Okay.
I think you know of this band, you just don't know the name.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on. Anyways, they just had a new one drop, so we'll have to take a look-see at that. And other things coming out, like you mentioned, Tomb Mold. Probably my biggest hype of the year, just because
Last year.
Men of Infinite Forms last year was
So good.
so fucking ridiculous. So can't wait to hear that. They've released like 3 singles, which is they've all been stupendous. So the expectation, like, it's already a great album. So we're just waiting over here. Opeth dropped their single. You have not spun that yet.
I've not.
It's fucking great. Oh, I'm so excited.
That's nice to hear. Opeth is not a band that I like. It's not a band that I don't like, but it's not a band that like I go on my way for.
Yeah, you've never really jumped on board.
But it's nice to hear that they're putting out something that is noteworthy good, because haven't their last couple albums been not quite up to par?
Opeth goes way back. This is going to be like their 13th album or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, they're sort of the pioneers for the Swedish brand of progressive death metal, and now they don't do death metal at all anymore, so because Michael doesn't do his growls. So and he was one of the best at it. So there's a lot of controversy there about the post-heritage Opeth. A lot of the hardcore death metal fans fell off because they don't like the new stuff.
Sure.
In Ackerfeld, he has influences just all over the place. It's just progressive music at this point. Do I consider it metal? Absolutely. But there's a lot of the metal community that don't. So whatever.
Sure.
But that song got me really, really excited. So definitely check that out when you get the chance. We have some shows coming up, and due to all sorts of reasons, I don't know if we'll be able to make it, but we should look into it. So on the 25th of this month, Chemist and Cloak at Sanctuary.
I'm not going to be able to do that one, which sucks.
Cloak
Because
was
I would love it. Dude, Cloak was
We already saw Chemist.
The gem of...
Was that last year?
No, that was 17.
17.
The year of
17.
not so
not,
bright.
Not last year. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, yeah.
You're right. A Silence Will Be in studio
Oh, that's right.
at that time. We were offered that show, too. And I would have jumped all fucking over it if we hadn't been committed already.
2 days after that, also at Sanctuary, Dreadnought and The Lion's Daughter.
And that sucks again, because I have a show in fucking Flint. God damn it. Sanctuary's getting crazy shows.
Dude.
They're getting all the Loving Touch shows.
Those are 2 days away from each other. That's insane.
I know.
I might try to go to at least one of those. I don't know. Depends on a number of factors, but assuming they play later in the evening when my son's already going to be asleep, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to sneak out. But
Right on. Sanctuary's a cool venue.
have I been? I don't think I've been there.
No. We did a show there like 6 months ago. It's a cool spot. It used to be called Paychecks. Sort of played there, I think, like our second or third show ever. And it's been changed. It's a cool spot. Hamtramck. I'm playing in Hamtramck on Thursday. At the New Dodge.
Thirsty Thursdays, motherfucker.
So we're playing that show on Thursday, and we hit the studio on a week from Monday. So a week from when this comes out. Start recording our EP. Gonna be great. Silence.
It is going to be great.
So
Excited.
we're bookending it with shows too, which is kind of a pain in the dick, but it'll be fun. Because we play on Thursday, we go to the studio on Monday through Friday. We get out and we play a show in Flint on Saturday. So busy week and a half.
You busy? Nah.
Now I know, right? Dick.
Man, it's been a killer year. We say it every time.
Dude, it's nuts. Like, we picked a good fucking time to start doing the podcast.
We did.
Like, if we started in 17, shit might have been a little bit meh. But, good time to start. I like it.
Indeed.
I like it quite a bit. We need to hit anything else, sir?
That's all I got, man.
Yeah.
Good beer, good music, good company.
Hell yeah.
I'm not sure what else there is, man. That's it.
I believe it.
Got everything I need.
Oh, my. So for this week's Lumberslayer and Friends podcast, I have been Alex Lumberslayer along with
Adam Friedman.
and we'll see you